United States President Donald Trump is on his way to Asia. What's on the agenda and what does he hope to accomplish? Hello, I'm Nathan King, filling in for Anand Naidu, and this is The Heat. Hello again. US President Donald Trump and his wife Melania left Washington on Friday en route to Asia. After a stopoff in Hawaii, President Trump will start his Asia trip in Japan. Then it's on to the Republic of Korea, followed by an eagerly anticipated visit to China. Following that, Trump will travel to Vietnam and he will finish up his trip in the Philippines. President Trump is expected to focus on major issues like trade and security. And he talked briefly with reporters at the White House before his departure.
We're actually staying an extra day in the Philippines. We have a big conference, a second conference, and I think we're going to have great success. We'll be talking about trade. We'll be talking about, obviously, North Korea. We'll be enlisting the help of a lot of people and countries. We'll see what happens, but I think we're going to have a very successful trip. There's a lot of goodwill.
So those topics will, of course, be on the agenda when he meets with Chinese President Xi Jinping in Beijing next week. And we begin there with correspondent Jianhua. Thanks so much for joining us. You know, there's a bit of anticipation in China about President Trump's visit. What are the major areas of discussion and perhaps progress President Trump and Chinese President Xi Jinping are likely to cover while he's there?
Yes, Nathan. Well, this is the first time for US President Donald Trump to visit China after he took office in 2016. And the meeting between the two leaders comes right after the end of China's 19th NPC session, in which the Chinese president declared a new era. The Chinese Foreign Ministry has promised to make every effort to make sure the reception of the American delegation is a success. As for the topics that will be covered during Trump's three-day visit to China, according to the Foreign Ministry, several topics will be on top of the agenda. One thing for sure will be the trade ties between China and the US. Trump earlier on Wednesday said the US trade deficit with China is through the roof, calling it so big and bad it is embarrassing, saying what the number is. Deputy Prime Minister of Chinese Foreign Ministry yesterday went on record saying the way to solving the problem is expanding the US exports to China, not limiting the Chinese export to the United States. And of course, another topic of discussion will be how to de-escalate the tensions on the Korean Peninsula. China sticks to the principle of denuclearization on the peninsula and is opposed to the employment of the THAAD anti-missile system in South Korea as always, but fiery words have been exchanged between the US president and the leader of the DPRK over the past months. Earlier, Trump contradicted Secretary of State Rex Tillerson by suggesting negotiations with the DPRK aren't worthwhile at all. We'll see how well the negotiations will go between China and the US to deal with the tensions on the Korean Peninsula. Nathan.
Thanks so much, Lee.